Ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment we're going to see a video by Stephen Manifestone, the chosen one. Stephen is an individual who was afforded the opportunity to pursue his dreams thanks to life's connections through music. First we're going to see a video of Stephen and how he overcame his challenges. And then we're going to see the world premiere of Stephen's new video, Stephen's Party.
So Steve, what would you like to write about today? So Steve, what would you like to write about today? Today.
Hey, what's up, Stephen? You know, I'm good. I'm Alicia Marie. You know how I do it.
Come on.
Today's a new day.
Come on.
I woke up this morning and I saw the sun. Jumped up out of bed, got ready for my run. Got rid of the negativity in my mind. 'Cause times are changing, gonna do it right. And when I got home.
So Steve, what would you like to write about today?
What I to write about what happened in the world today.
Very good. So what would the title be today for this?
What's going on?
I'm Brian Goldman. I'm the Psychology Program Director at Life's Work. Well, I've been counseling Stephen since the house opened in 2003, and I come on a weekly basis. And at first, it was tough for Stephen to express his emotions and feelings with me, and he wasn't really able to talk about things that were bothering him. But I noticed he had all these Mead books, and on these books, I was reading them, and it just had amazing feelings and lyrics and just whatever was on his mind. So I decided one day to say, Stephen, would you like to, work in one of your books? And he said yes, and ever since then, every week when I come here for the last 7 years, we start out our session with writing a poem. Or whatever is on Stephen's mind. And then from then, we get to talk about some other stuff to work on some things. But it just exploded over the last 3 or 4 years because his speech therapist, Kathy Crane, has really helped work with him on being able to, how could I say it, get his verbal feelings down in a poetic way. His speech therapist helped him with metaphors and worked with a dictionary with him on vocabulary, and I've really seen a tremendous improvement. Not only with that, it appears also that his sense of beat and way to keep poems, flowing with six lines at a time, and it just really evolved.
Dirty.
My environment is dirty.
Crazy.
And crazy.
Hi, my name is Darren Carlson, and I'm the Assistant Director of Clinical Services for LifeWorks. Okay, well, what's nice is I met Stephen a few years back, maybe about 5 years ago, and at that time he approached me because he noticed I was in the music business, and he told me about his passion to be a writer. And being in the business as an independent producer, a lot of people want to be writers, and I said, okay, let me look at your stuff. And I was immediately blown away by Stephen's stuff. He really writes from the heart. Every word, it's funny. A lot of times you're not hearing it until you're driving back later, and then it hits you. And it was a lot deeper than just those words. And that's what I like about Stephen's stuff. It's not just saying, hey, it's a party. He's really talking about what he's been through. But then he also has the fun songs and the good stuff. He really knows how to try different things, and that's what I like about his style. So when I met him and I saw the great work he's done with his writing, we had to get him into a studio somehow. And there was some obstacles. It was getting anyone into a studio with our budget. We kind of had what was our budget, $0? Yeah, we had $0 and zero. So what we did is we knocked on a few doors, and I was able to open one at a studio run by a producer friend of mine who I've worked with a long time. His name's Will Burton. And I showed him Steve's lyrics, and he was blown away by them. Really loved them, really hit him hard, and said, we got to get this guy in. Steven is a great writer. Unfortunately, his speech pattern is difficult to work with right now in the studio. So we had to figure out how are we going to get his words out there. They're written on paper. So Steven had a great idea. So let's bring the people in that collaborate with me and then write with me and give them an opportunity to become singers. And people were impressed because these were people that weren't musicians. They just were really passionate about Steven's project and getting his words out there. And from there it just grew. Will, the producer, played the music for other artists that were in the studio because they're always asking what Will's working on. And every artist that heard it wanted to be on Steven's next project. So it really made it a lot easier putting the second project together. And I think you could hear it, no disrespect to Brian and myself and the other people that helped, but these guys could really sing that came on, and it gave Steve's voice an even better palette, I guess is the way to put it, a really better pitch it was able to pitch. Really gave its due his words because his words needed to be heard. And it's just been a great thing. What happened was Will gives Steven a CD full of beats that Will's been working on. And Steve will go through them. He's a tough critic. He'll say what he wants to work on and what he doesn't. Then from that, once we know what beats he's done, we sit down with his books. And he has, I think you've seen in the footage, he has lots of books. And some of his poems are short. And what we were able to do is take different poems and combine them to make songs out of them. And that's what's really nice about Steven. He has themes that run throughout his music. Sometimes he's too exhausted maybe to do a full song, but he wants to get a point out. So he'll do a short little verse. And we were able to build songs that way with him, myself, and Will, and actually the other artists who read his stuff and said, I want to do this song. And then they would do their own little version of that, inspired by his stuff. So now we have our third album done, and everyone's been loving it. And the next stage was to shoot this video.
That wants to be somebody.
I will be a legend, like the Rolling Stone. All my life, yes, and I got my break when I'm moving in to this house. I felt like I could talk about my struggle and my problems in my music. That's how it helped me, and it came out to be the biggest thing. It keep getting bigger and bigger. I just write about my experience in this in my life that I live. Oh yes. My goal is to be somebody that never quit and always and very motivated and very hard working. I'm a hard working MC. My party. Concrete. because I never gave up. A lot of people wanted to jump on my label.
Say my lyrics as they go on paper, and they will know what I'm about. A hard-working MC that wants to be somebody. I want to be a legend like the Rolling Stones.